Okay, well, this is part two of the changes for the Surescript writer or the script writer and the medical notes. Now I'll talk about maybe changes in the refill requests and maybe the new features, which include the cancel script and the change requests. Minor changes happen in the refill request, maybe more the look than anything else, just look a little different to match maybe the one that looks like as in a screen of the change requests. In any case, this shows the patient on the left, then the provider, pharmacy, then the prescribed medicine, and what will be dispensed if you decide to approve this refill request. At the bottom here, you'll have a deny button, and then if you want to send any notes to the pharmacy, and deny or and a denial reason. And then here you can approve it or deny it, and then a script to follow, which once you click that, it will take you to the script writer, and then you can write whatever you want there and send it to the pharmacy. One minor change, which is pretty important, I know we had quite a few questions about it from the providers, is when we write 3 in this box, we used to assume that that means the patient will get 1 month, maybe and 3 refills with that. So that totals 4 months. This is very important to realize actually this is not correct. The correct thing, and this is why we changed the name here, it says total dispenses approved. That means if you put 3, that means they will get 1 month and 2 refills. This is very important to understand so you don't confuse that how many refills were given to the patient. So if you do 1, that means this is 1 month only, which is the default pretty much. The rest of the refill requests stayed the same and the same workflow pretty much. Let me show you now the cancel the cancel script. Maybe one of the patients that we looked at earlier. Okay, we did maybe a couple of prescriptions for this patient earlier. And let's say we made a mistake or we decided we don't want the patient to have that prescription. We now can send a cancel request to the pharmacy. Now, bear in mind though, the cancel request and the change request, which I'll be talking about it later, is something fairly new, and most pharmacies still don't support that yet. But from what I was told, it looks like more pharmacies are working on it to get it done. This is actually a nice feature. Instead of having to call a pharmacy and have them cancel a prescription, we can send it electronically right now, and then we can receive responses from those pharmacies. Now, how would you know a pharmacy does support that or not? The service level here does list all the things that this particular pharmacy supports. Like for example, this one supports a new RX, which is new prescription, refill request, RX change, which is the script change that we'll be talking about later, and this is the cancel RX. Cancel RX is like, that means we can send them a cancel request. The APCS is actually means that this particular pharmacy will accept narcotics or scheduled medications. We don't support that yet, as you might have heard from us before. We will be looking into that more in the next few months, but the problem seems to be it's not technical because coding for it is quite easy. It's more really what goes around the whole certification for that part, the scheduled medications. The DEA is involved in this process, and we had to get certified by them. And possibly every office that does those prescriptions, the scheduled medications prescriptions, have to be certified. So this is the reason why we're waiting on that. In any case, we will update you on this as we have more information. But to cancel a prescription is quite simple. If you go to the list of medications, either here or in the patient chart, you will see at the right end all the way, if the pharmacy that this prescription was sent to does support cancer prescription, then a blue C will show up there. That means you can send a cancel script there. Now, if the pharmacy does not support that, there will be a V there. The V works like the old way. You can void the script. That means you would have had to call the pharmacy on the phone, cancel the prescription, and then maybe mark that prescription as voided. So if the pharmacy does support it, you can click on the C. If not, a V will be right here, and I'll show you that one. So let's say we want to cancel this lisinopril here. I can click on cancel, and it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to send this cancellation request? It's going to say okay, and then I'll get some response from them. Now you'll notice here there's a little kind of background, different background, and again a line through, which is similar to the one for voided prescription, goes through the prescription. The pinkish color background that tells me this prescription has been tried to cancel, but the cancel is pending. This is very important. I mean, the prescription is still not canceled yet. We have to wait for a response from the pharmacy that they really approve that cancellation or they cannot. Sometimes, patient already left with the medication, so there is no way for them to cancel. They will have to send us a deny, and I'll show you what that would look like. But if they were able to cancel it, they will send us a response back. And typically it's not immediate. They would have to look at it, to your cancel request, and then respond to it. So you will see a CP right there, which means cancel pending. If this was canceled, it will look a little different, and there will be a V next to it. Let's go to another patient, because obviously we're not talking to a real pharmacy, so we won't be able to wait for them. Let's see a patient that I've tested with, and prescription was canceled. If you see here, actually, I'm sorry, not a V, a CA will be for canceled. And if you hover over the date here, you'll get some information. In the middle right there, it says cancel message, the cancel approve, note, no dispenses made, and then the cancel date. This is what we receive back from the pharmacy. So the pharmacy accepted the cancellation request, it's approved, and they said no more dispenses, or no dispenses made. So that means, that tells us that the patient did not pick up any of that medicine. So this is actually, we send it in the right time. Now, let's see if I can find one that has been denied. I'm not sure if I have this for this patient. Well, this patient is a little different. It says, note, all dispenses have been made, no refills remaining. Let's see, there's a test patient that I know it looks weird in terms of the name. This is for testing purposes. I know that there is something has been denied there. Anyway, it doesn't look like I can find it. But the idea is, like, if the pharmacy denied the request, the cancellation request, they will send us a deny, and then the prescription will not have the same background as the one that we tried to deny, and then the line through will go away. That means the prescription is still valid because they were not able to cancel it. And then if you hover over here, you will see something stating cancel message, maybe cancel denied, maybe a note saying the patient already picked up all the medicine or something like that. So if the pharmacy was not able to cancel the prescription, they will send us a deny response, and then the prescription will look like you just wrote it, which will look valid. I hope that makes sense. Probably as you start getting some of those canceled responses, hopefully from pharmacies around you, it'll make a little bit more sense. This is a very nice feature actually, and I hope more and more pharmacies will adopt it. The last feature, or maybe the last new feature that was added, is the change requests. You will see here in today's patients, next to the Surescript refill request, now we do have Surescripts change requests. The idea behind this is like you write a prescription, and for one of three reasons, the patient can send, or the pharmacy can send you a change request. Now, this is very limited right now to those three reasons, and I believe it might be just those. One is they can send you a request or a change request from a brand name to a generic. For example, you write a prescription for a medicine and you put DAW on the medication. Then the pharmacy maybe checks with the patient. It's turned out to be too expensive. Maybe the patient is trying to get a cheaper one. The pharmacy can send you a change request, maybe to a generic, and they will put a note for you. The first one actually is that particular request, and I'll go through it in a second. The second reason is for prior authorization, which of course all of us are familiar with that. If we write a prescription that needs prior authorization, typically now the pharmacy will call you and ask you to get the prior authorization. As more pharmacies adopt this change request, we will see more of them. They send you the change request for prior authorization electronically. The third, and maybe it might be the more common one, is therapeutic. They call it therapeutic interchange or substitution. This could be in actually a lot of scenarios, but maybe one scenario is you wrote a prescription for something and then the patient turned out to be allergic to it, or patient had some problems with that medication and he shared with the pharmacist. The pharmacist can send you, well, I need to change this medication to something different. And if you notice here, so those are the three different scenarios that usually, and every scenario has a little bit different look and different setup or different possibility to respond to it. And again, I want to emphasize that change requests are similar to refill requests. They do come from the pharmacy. The pharmacy initiate those. They come to you as a provider, and then you approve or deny that request. This is very essential for you to know. Let me go through the first one here. This is the patient. His name is C. Lee. The provider is Hadar, and then the pharmacy that's trying to send you the request. This is what you prescribed. This is the prescription that you wrote for that patient. And then the last field here is the payer. If there is any insurance information or formulary information, we call it, it'll show up right here. This would be more important in prior authorization. I'll tell you about that in a second. But if you're questioning why this patient does not have an address and all that, per Surescripts, we have to display what they send us, not what we have in our database. So if you actually click on this patient, patient info, we do have all the information there, but we cannot show that. We have to show what we are sent. So in the message itself, it has all this information. We have to display it all. We cannot